If you're still struggling with makeup and how you get that flawless foundation routine, this video is going to help you guys with all of the basics. If you're interested in learning how to do makeup, or if you know how to do makeup, you just like watching other people do makeup, this is the video for you. I hope you guys enjoy this very detailed tutorial. I love to start off with my eyebrows, so I start off with the Bare Brows gel just to gel down my eyebrows. I've already done that, as you can see, because you need this to dry down. I'm going to move in with my NYX Cosmetics Lift and Snatch eyebrow pen. I just love how this pen is extremely fine, as you can see. Really helps to achieve the realistic brow stroke. I'm just gonna apply it and give my eyebrow a shape. I'm also gonna focus on filling these little gaps in my eyebrows because I have very fine eyebrows. You can see the difference between this eyebrow and this eyebrow. So much nicer, but it's also very natural. To conceal my eyebrows, I like using a foundation just because I don't really like that very aggressive concealer halo type of look. I'm just going to use my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation, and this is in the color Macao. I'm just going to do one small pump. Concealer's empty. I just really love using the applicator to conceal my eyebrows. I'm using the foundation also to conceal the top. This part takes a lot of precision, so I'm just being very careful, trying to not talk too much so that I don't mess it up. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, just real quick. Once you get the hang of this, it becomes like really easy. Let me not even try to jinx myself because sometimes I get this so wrong. It just takes practice. And that is literally my eyebrows complete. Because this is a foundation, I want it to like dry down on my face before we blend it out. So we're just gonna move in with skin prep now. I love using this Marrakesh Sun tinting water. I know some people may think it's not making a difference, but honestly, it honestly just makes my skin look more bronzy. I'm gonna move in with my moisturizer, and this is the Tatcha Dewy Skin Moisturizer. Take a little bit of this and just like apply it all over my face. A little of this goes a long way, so you don't need too much of it. Skin prep is so important, so make sure you guys are not skipping your skin prep step. Once that's sunken into my skin, I've been obsessed with this primer so much. This is the Hudabeauty Easy Blur Primer. I just love how this blurs out my pores. Literally running out of this primer, that's how good it is. And I like focusing it around the middle of my face because I feel like that's where I have the most like texture and stuff. I'm gonna blend it out all over my face. This is my last step of skin prep. Now that the primer's on my skin, I just want to let it sit for a couple minutes, and then while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna, you know, blend out this foundation that we applied. Foundation is the same one I used for my eyebrows, which is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation in the color Macao. Just gonna do a few pumps. The pumps are really like mini, so I'm just gonna do like a few pumps and then just build up the coverage. Using my Hudabeauty base brush just to blend out this foundation. I find I had the most hyperpigmentation around my mouth area, so I just like focusing the foundation around there. I'm gonna use a bit more of that foundation just to do my forehead. Then I'm just gonna blend it out as well. You can see this little scar. You see how the coverage is really like a medium to full coverage, and it's also very buildable, which I love. I'm gonna move in with my first concealer, which is the Morphe Wake Up Artist Concealer, and this is in the shade Toffee 10C. I like using double concealers because the first one is gonna be closer to my skin complexion, which is gonna help get rid of like my dark under eyes. Under eyes are quite dark because I don't get enough sleep, and also I've been rubbing them, so they're quite dry as well. I do this concealer first because it really needs to sit on my face so it can give me the maximum amount of coverage. I'm gonna move in with bronzing my face. This is the Sleek In Your Tone in the color 12N. I'm just gonna use this everywhere that we need to bronze and bring some color back into the skin. I always just end up taking it all the way up my eyelids like this. especially when I'm not doing any mascara. I love doing this because it kind of gives me like an eyeshadow type of look. And then I'm gonna do my forehead. This is not really gonna make my forehead look smaller, it's just gonna make my skin appear like I've been on holiday, like very bronzed, which I love. And then we're also just gonna do the cheekbone area, just like this. This concealer is very lightweight, so it's not going to give me much coverage. I'm just going to go ahead and blend out this bronzer. Now I'm going to move in with my blush. This is the Hudabeauty Intense Guava blush filter. It's a very, very pink blush, which I love. I always just do pink blush, like I don't ever do orange, purples, anything like that. I feel like I always just go for like a pink blush. Now I'm just going to use, this is the Makeup Revolution double-ended brush, and I'm just going to use this to blend out. I think this brush originally was meant for foundation, but I just don't like it for foundation. I find that it works really, really good for blush, so I just use it for blush. You want to make sure you're blending your blush, but you're not blending out the concealer with the blush. So just take your time and be patient. This is the Sculpted by Amy brush, and I'm just going to use it to blend out like the nose area. You can see I'm using different brushes to blend out different parts of my face, and it's only because you don't want to use the same brush, and it just kind of gives you a muddy type of look if you're not like cleaning them in between. So I find it's easier using different brushes just so that you can get all your products to like remain undisturbed. As you can see, the blush is kind of looking crazy, like we need to blend this out. So you want to use your first brush, which was the foundation one, and it still has a little bit of foundation on it, so you just want to, you know, just use that to blend out some of that blush, just so it's not looking too harsh. I'll be using the banana bread powder, and this is by obviously Hudabeauty, best powder on the market. So before we even blend anything out, I just want to prepare our powder puff and add some powder. I'm going to use my second concealer, which is the Hudabeauty concealer, and this is in the color 6.5. I completely forgot to apply this concealer on, so I'm just going to do it now. And I'm just going to apply this closer and then up here as well. You can see how this one is more brightening. I just don't feel like it's as bright though, so I'm going to use another concealer. This concealer I'm going to be using is a NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, and this is in the color Caramel. I'm just going to apply this right under my eye to give me, you know, that extremely bright under eye, like this. I'm gonna let this dry down for maybe about 2 minutes before we start blending everything out. Now everything is nice and dry, I'm just gonna blend out that concealer. The concealer brush I'm using is from Lash Filter. It is linked on my TikTok shop. If you follow me on TikTok, you will see this specific brush is linked on my showcase. I'm not sure what the actual name of the brush is. The way I blend it out, I really want to focus the concealer around my under eye, and that's it. And then I just obviously bring it all the way up like this, so you can get that really sharp, you know, and I really like how that looks personally. You want to also make sure you're getting right in the, you know, nose crease. Get rid of that really sharp line. As soon as I finish blending it out, I'm just going to use that powder puff that we've already powdered to, you know, press into the under eye like this. And this is how you get the really flawless under eye. I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So once all of the powder is on and I'm looking very ghosty, I'm going to move in with my Curve Case pressed palette. This is like the cream palette, but it's just a pressed version, the powder version. I'm just going to mix a bunch of these shades together to get like the perfect shade for me. Start applying that bronzer on my eyelids, like so, like this. It kind of gives me like a very snatch type of, you know, look. I'm just going to take it down to my nose like here. Same powder is going to go on my forehead and then also my cheeks. This powder basically goes everywhere that we cream bronzed. For my powder blush, I'm going to use the same palette, but this really bright pink. It's called Cowlick. I'm going to apply this where I applied my liquid blush. And I'm just going to use some setting mist just to seal everything together. For my lip liner, I did the Hudabeauty lip contour in the colour Rich Brown, and this is the stain version. I always do this very light shade to go in the centre of my lips. This is in the colour Baby Pink, so Baby Pink just goes right in the centre like that. You see how it's like a very subtle pink? It's nothing too, you know, extra. The mascara as well, but I accidentally forgot to record it. Because I'm a gloss type of girl, I'm going to use the Dior Addict, and this is in the number 206, and this is just going to go on top. It's so pretty. It's like sparkly, so like a lip plumper, but it's like a very subtle lip plumper, which I love. And this is my finishing look.